Welcome back to Seablock. Killed myself again with the same thing I did last time. So yeah, let's just get all my stuff back, thank you, and stop killing myself. I was just making a couple of quick changes, and I almost did it again. Basically moving the pump down here, and we're going to do that because today we're going to be looking into plastics, which is basically different than we've done before. Oh, I'm going to need to change this a little bit, aren't I? I need another output from this factory. Let's just get rid of that, and let's just get this filled in, and we'll get that sorted. So let's get that there. And I want an output right here. Yes, I'm going to need water. Water into one of these. I could probably get it in here, to be honest. Maybe. If I moved stuff around, maybe I could do that. But I need water moving it all the way across here. In fact, it only needs to be coming from this side. I don't need the water anywhere else. So let's just pick that back up and get started with plastics. So that can just go in here. And we'll just bring it into the bottom like this. I'm going to put that outside. That's on the rightmost edge. So let's get our water fill and not die. There we go. And that should attach. There. Okay. Do for now. That means I then have an output that I can output this raw gas from and get things going. So let's just get that all sorted. There we go. And raw gas needs to be one further across. There we go. Connected. And raw gas will pop out of the bottom area here. Okay, so we're going right to left. I know it's a bit against convention, but I have lots of space out here, and we're going to be making plastics. So from here, we're going to basically want another building. Let's just grab one of our factory buildings and dump it down exactly where you might expect. It's going to need more power, of course, but other than that, we then have a way to bring that. Do I want it to? Let's put a straight pipe across for now. There we go. And on the inside, we have our raw gas. So we're going to be making plastic bar today. That means we need to go back through a few different steps. Liquid plastic, propene, methanol, methane, natural gas liquids, and that from raw gas. So let's start that with gas refineries. So we're going to need one of those. Let's go back again, another gas refinery. And note that this will actually produce multiple different things than the one we want, which is the methane. So we're going to have to consider either tanking or getting rid of the other things. It's easier to get rid of them to get started. So we need a steam cracker, another steam cracker, and a chemical plant. Okay, so let's just get a couple of gas refineries and a cracker. So gas refinery, two of those, and then just a steam cracker or two. And a couple of those, and then a chemical plant, of course, which is stuff we normally want. Chemical furnace, no. Chemical plant, I'll make a couple of those. We'll get them down, and then we'll try and get the stuff in here. Note that, remember, last episode I had the crude oil over here, and that is building up as well. So we will be able to use that for other purposes. But for the moment, this is sort of working. I did amend this thing at the top here. What's basically happening is this thing outputs sulfuric wastewater, and if that builds up too much, it stops more stuff from being made. So this, although it feeds into our algae farm, if there's ever too much of it, it actually gets dumped through the overflow valve here into a clarifier. And is that an actual liquid? It is a liquid, good. It goes into the clarifier, but if it ever gets too small, this feeds it, which is what we did last episode. So either way, it will continue, whether it's too much or too little. And I've just got an extra assembly machine down here. So that's that sorted. And raw gas is a very small amount. Why is there only a small amount? There's only 947. Why is there only 947? Is this a really small output? It's entirely possible. It is building up, just not very lot, and not very much. We may need to actually invest in that to make that a lot larger. Anyway, for now, we'll sort that out, and let's just get started with a, where's my gas refineries? There we are. So we have one input and three outputs. I guess we could just put this, say here, we can rearrange it later. So raw gas into acid gas and natural gas liquids. That will go there. Okay. This is starting to build, as you might imagine. It's now consuming. We need to get rid of acid gas eventually, and natural gas liquids, of course. Acid gas are both from those two bottom ones. So is there anything we want to actually deal with acid gas? Is it actually useful for anything? Nice if it actually showed me acid gas. There we go. Hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, and hydrofluoric. Carbon dioxide we are using in the previous building, so we could loop that back, but for the moment I'm just going to get rid of it if that's the only thing we can do with it. Or we can just void it. Yes, and voiding it is going to be the preference here, so flare, at least to get started. Oh, I've already got one. That's good. I'll just attach that right there. And there goes the acid gas. We are just going to get, once this reaches 100, we're going to get some natural gas liquids out of this. So we then want our second gas refinery. There we go. And that's going to be fed straight into the top. I'm going to leave one space there just in case we needed a pipe coming off or something like that. But natural gas liquids goes into methane. Let's get this right. Into methane, which is the sort of 3 white, 1... well, they're all 3 white. Well, it's first 2 or 3 white. But let's just look. Which one is it? It's going to be this bottom one. This is the methane that we want. Okay. So that one, wherever we put it. Do I want it there? We'll just have them like this. They will start building up, of course, once it starts processing. The methane, in turn, we will then be processing. So let's just go back and look at plastics again. Plastic. Liquid plastic. Propene. Propene is what we need to get after methanol, and methanol is next up. So we need to combine methane gas, which is going to come out of this pipe, with some steam, which we know how we get steam, of course. And we may even be able to pipe that out from the other building. Not quite so sure. We can always reproduce that here if we need to. And we get methanol and residual gas. Residual gas, can we do anything with lubricants? That would be useful. And it's pretty much combined with crude oil. So having some of it is probably a decent idea. We just can't do all that much with it just yet. We can produce, this looks like an upgraded recipe, advanced gas processing. We can combine it with natural gas liquids to produce all different, well, pretty much the same things as here, but a more advanced recipe. I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'll just tank it or something like that. So we need to get to methanol. That's going to need a steam cracker, and steam crackers should now be built. So steam cracker, we'll have 2 inputs, 2 outputs. Let's just put that here. Yeah, there. And then we'll just choose this. So, ethylene, residual gas, nope. Benzene, nope. Methanol, there we go. And thankfully, that is the right input for a change. And we need to get to our steam down here. So, I need to get some source of steam. Is it easy to move this over? See, I can't just immediately put a pipe there. It's really annoying in these buildings that these 2 pipes are right next to each other. The only thing you could possibly do there is that kind of thing. And then it's fine internally if that will actually connect. Let's go and take a look. Okay, so if I have this here. Okay, and maybe we connect this like this. Okay, that looks like it's connecting. Will that actually work outside? It will, so we can get steam straight in here, which means I can reroute that around all over the place, or in this case, not all over the place. I can just go across from here. Okay, and just go straight upwards, and that should be that sorted. So let's just get a few, well, just one really is all I need here. Cool. And we just need one section there. That's the steam. And then obviously one more section, and that will then connect everything up for the methane. Other than that, we need to then connect both of these to either to tanks or to flare stacks to get rid of them for the moment. Not sure which one. I'm not decided on that just yet. I'm trying to get everything laid out before we decide to do any more stuff. So plenty of steam available, and we now need the methane. So let's go back. Liquid plastic. Methanol should come out of this top one, and then residual gas out of the bottom one. Methanol is going to go into propene, and that's another steam cracker. So we're going to need that steam supply again. Let's just see here. Has my other steam cracker come and built? It has. So let's just see where the inputs and outputs are. Propene. So that's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. I can actually just rotate this and move it around all over the place. It's the right it's the right input to that output. That's exactly what we want. So I will just move this up a little bit. Steam cracker, and let's just leave it there for now. All right, and we're going to make some more pipe. There we go. Okay, sorted a few things out in the factory, and that started up. So this is going to process. It's going to produce it to here, which is then going to process into the 3 gases. That's going to move all the way along. Then we have a couple of different areas here. I need to get some copper. And copper was the main problem in the rest of the factory that I had problems with. You see all this right here? It's jammed copper, which jams back into here. And of course, because both of them currently feed out of the same thing, that means the ore gets jammed. And going further back, that means, because obviously they're putting on the same sorting machine, that means iron gets stopped. So make sure you always have something consuming the copper at the end. In this case, I just go to a particular box and I can just grab some more copper out of there. That's not a problem. And it certainly will let me create more copper pipes. I should really add that to the mall. I haven't really done that yet, but because it's quite easy to do, maybe we should just look at that. Assembly machines. Let's get 4 of them or something. Copper pipe is just straight from copper plate, and that is also simple because we can just run it off this line right here, or should be able to. We can grab our assembly machines, and there's the first one. We can just basically put some power down, and we should be able to pass one to the next, and then into a box. Let's just put a box down at the end. And then we just need some inserters, of course, so we'll get those queued up. And then let's just tell this we want to make copper pipe. This one is going to be pipe to ground, and then we sort of want to have a split for this, I think. Let's pick that back up for a second. And if I just go maybe one further away, can we split them from here? If I just put down, do I have a sort of worse splitter? Don't think so. Let's just use a larger one. Yeah. Don't really have a great amount of room to actually do this, so why don't I just feed it outwards, and we don't care about it. Okay, so instead of having direct inserters, we're just going to send stuff outwards like this. Okay, and then we're just put a splitter down and have about half of it get split off, and then we're just going to feed in a better way than you might expect. So let's just pick that up. No, that's the pickup position. Yep, it's going to pick up from there, go into here. We need to get some power going, so that should have everything. And then we just choose this. Okay, so half of them is going to go into here, and the other half we're going to go into this belt, which of course we are also going to pass into this, I think. So let's just feed this way. Okay, and let's go bring it center that way. In fact, I can probably just make sure I rearrange stuff like this. And then it's going to pick up there and drop here. No, that's one too far away. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah, we need it one further. Same thing there. Pick up, drop. Okay, so they both should end up being dumped into there eventually. This also needs some copper plates though. So let's feed it in that side. And then we're just going to restrict this to, I don't know, 4? Maybe 6. Okay, so I can just go and grab some of those whenever I actually want, which is nice. That mall's going to expand and get moved over eventually into buildings with just the boxes beyond the outside. Of course, if we get to a bot network, then we'll be able to use that to go and grab them. Anyway, we've now diverted a little bit on a bit of a tangent, but it doesn't mean we can go back in here and see what it's actually done. So we have some ethane, we have some butane, and we have no methane because it's been produced and been output. So we now have methanol, and let's just have a look. Sorry, is it methanol? No, propane and residual gas. So residual gas is why I went to go make some of these pipes in the first place, because we have 2 outputs for it. There is an output here, like this, and there is an output right here. So we're going to feed those together, and we can do whatever we want with it. Again, just like other outputs, we have to deal with it somehow. but we have some other options. So methanol next. Let's deal with methanol. So it's methanol to propene in a steam cracker again. And in fact, no, hang on. We've already got to that. Yeah, no, we've already got to propene. Back at one. We need to go from propene into liquid plastic, and that's just by a chemical plant or liquefier. Crafting speed, chemical plant. Chemical plant's faster. Liquefier is far more power efficient. How's our power going? Let's take a quick look. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. So, chemical plants or liquefier. Let's just do a liquefier for now, and we'll see if it's actually any good at doing this. So, we want liquid plastic. All right, and then how do we get to actual plastic? So, we just need to go a liquid plastic through a regular assembly. Does that say regular, or is it only... Yeah, we can't use a regular one. We have to use assembly machine 2. That's not assembly machine 2. That's an assembly machine 2. I don't already have one in my inventory, so we'll just grab one. And then that can get started. All of that is liquid. So, yeah, we may just need to pipe it in. Plastic, there we go. And we can just connect these two up. So you're connected this way, you're connected there. And this is going to start producing plastic bars. So that's that sorted. We will need to feed this out somewhere. I haven't decided quite yet, so let's just feed, you know, some belt. And I don't know, maybe we assume it goes up this way. And for now, basic setup. We need to deal with these as well, of course. So what I'm going to do for now, until I decide what to do with them, I'm just going to put them into tanks. And we have small inline tanks, and we have other ones. We actually want it's stone brick, it seems, for these. So I'm going to grab more stone brick. Yeah, it seems like we're short. But I have plenty in here. That should get us started. And I'll then tank up pretty much everything that's in here, because it's going to be useful for other things, I think. First of all, that residual gas is going to go in. These two are going to go into separate tanks, and we'll see what we do with that later. And in case I didn't remind you, we need plastics because it's the only way to get advanced circuits, which needs transistors. So we need to go through this whole research tree up here and go through and start the research. So there is a bunch of different things that we can look at. Transistors, advanced electronics is the eventual goal. We need to pass through resin 1. We need to pass through electrolysis 2. And chemical plants and some chemical processing, plastics and silicon processing, etc. But the most important part of that is that we have the plastics being built anyway. Not going to be terrible many of them. There's only been 4 produced so far. So it is just like a sort of an offshoot of everything else we've done so far. But we'll speed it up later. It's just that we have the process now started. So that is just really going to depend on how quickly or how much of this we're actually going to produce, this multi-phase oil. We need to produce more of it, which probably means at some point we would need a lot more of these oil refineries producing stuff. You'll see right now we're short on blue algae as well. So, you know, we can dedicate a building to just basically making blue algae and other kind of things if we want to. At least that gets us started with plastics. Now for some of the other ingredients that we need, which is silicon, and that needs a fair bunch of stuff that we're going to be making this silicon wafer. We need research to be able to do it. Yeah, we can't do that until we get silicon processing. The prerequisites are currently being researched, so that is on the way. But before we get to that point, we need to think about various things. We can get to monosilicon, it seems, from what we have already. So that means we need monosilicon seed. And that's going to need a casting machine from molten silicon. And we need molten silicon anyway for both of this. So whatever we do, we have to go back to molten silicon and nitrogen. But nitrogen we can get from the air, from like one of those air machines, whatever they were called, air compressors. So molten silicon it is, which means a pretty traditional sort of route here. We need to get to silicon ingots. They are through induction furnaces. And then that's not traditional. Trichlorosilane. Yeah. Can we do something else? Yes, we can do something else. Good. Good. We can just supply carbon, and we can just supply 24 silicon ore, and it will make silicon ingots in a blast furnace. Is that specific to carbon, though? I can't just give it any flammable? I mean, we'll see. Let's just try this. Let's get that going first of all. So silicon technology, we need to get that going. Silicon is there. So what do we got left? We got to get chemical plant. There's some prerequisites for other stuff as well. So that's on the way. Yes, where was I? I need silicon, and it comes into here, and we're not doing anything with it right now, apart from putting it into a box. This needs specifically carbon. And do I have carbon on here? Is this carbon? It is carbon. Is it going to remain carbon? Is it not just my earlier thing that I converted? No, that looks like it's not carbon anymore. Yeah, so that's not going to work for very long until I run out of carbon. So we're going to have to probably reintroduce carbon at some point to this. But for now, it'll work until I run out. So you can point my finger later as you figure out that I've forgotten all about it as normal. So let's just get that fed in. That'll start producing silicon ingots, which is going to go over here, and nothing is going to happen right now because it's not hooked up to anything. Yeah, it's going to go out to here, which is where I've already got some silicon ingots. So that's nice. That's nice. We've got some bits and pieces ready to go. So silicon wafer. That's going to need just molten silicon, which we can get from the silicon ingots by putting it through an induction furnace. Fine. Now, we already have the induction furnace in here. Or the space for them, I should say. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, my inventory's full. Ugh. Okay. We put a box down. Random box. And we want induction furnaces, which I've got 2 of anyway. And yes, we're going to want to have some of those. So why don't I just remove? Well, in fact, this won't actually help. Won't actually hinder things. I don't think if I put them there. Okay, and I'll switch it later. We want molten silicon. Oh, I can't mix fluids. Of course, it is going to hinder things whenever I say it's not going to hinder things. Fine. Now you should let me select it. Molten silicon. Okay. And we'll cut that off for there right now. The molten silicon is going to pop out of here. And then we're going to be able to make... one of them is going to need to go into here. So we're going to have to have a pipeline anyway. And we need an air compressor. So we're going to need that building. So air compressor. Oh, is it air compressor? Something like that? No. What is it actually called? What do we get nitrogen from? Nitrogen. Yep. And you are made in something? Compressed air? Yes. Air filter. Okay. It really should be an air compressor though, but I'm not going to quibble too much. Air filter. And we'll just use an air filter 1 for now. We're probably not going to need casting machines for this, but we will need them in a minute. So let's connect those up. Okay, so that's the molten silicon dealt with. And then we want the nitrogen. Here we are. A couple of casting machines. We produce one is going to produce the silicon seed. The other one is going to produce, well... Yeah, we're going to need the nitrogen into 1, aren't we? And then that's going to need to feed into the other one. So this one's going to be this one, and this one is going to be this one. Okay, they're going to feed into each other, like that. And then we need nitrogen, so we need that air filter. Like that. Okay, and... Can't mix fluids. Oh, we need to separate it. Yeah, so it's going to need a little bit of modifying. So let's just go back for a second. Monosilicon. Nitrogen, we need to put a chemical plant in the way, which is a good thing because I already crafted another one of them. Probably get a liquefier to do this as well, but let's just try it anyway. Let's just put it there. And then let's just choose the air recipe, which then gets us to... Where are we? Here... Nope. No. How about just typing in nitrogen in? Nitrogen. Yeah, so it's the top one. And the bottom one can be flare stacked, so that can be easy to do. There we go. And that means I can just feed in the air filter wherever you are. Right here. Choose the recipe. Get you connected, and that's that. And then this just needs to be flare stacked, so we can get the flare stack up and running. Yep. Okay, there we go. And that is then producing the monosilicon. And the monosilicon will be turned into silicon wafers once we get this silicon processing, which is being done at the very top right now. So that one of these produces 8 silicon wafers, and it gets produced inside an assembly machine. Well, 1 or 2 would do just fine. I have one of the assembly machine ones, so I'm going to be running out of space. Yeah, I didn't think quite about that just yet. Is there any easy way I can get space here? Well, I can sort of do it terribly. People are probably going to really not like this, but let's just do it terribly for now. Like this, we can pick it up from here, and this one can pick up from there. And they'll be able to pass that along into the next machine. That's terrible. But it'll work. So silicon, I can't select it yet because it's not available. So we'll just make a few more inserters. And that will feed back onto a belt, which will come out of here and head back this way. Okay, that's pretty much everything I think that I actually need. And then we will, we don't need any excess anywhere else, I don't think. We're flare stacking all of this, so everything should work. It's just going to be blocked on the output. We're going to be producing quite a lot of silicon boules this way. We could probably just send it underneath there, to be honest. That will actually save a little bit of belt. So why don't I just go like that? At some point, we should probably think about upgrading this to the yellow belt anyway, so we may as well just do that now. So let's just get that to yellow belt. Okay, and we've got 300 of it, so, you know, we'll just need to use that as standard. I keep forgetting to actually use it as standard. And that can do there. So we're just waiting for that to finish, and then we should be ready for the silicon boule. Of course, the next thing we need to do with that is combine it with plastic bar and tin copper wire, and we get transistors. So that's the point of this episode. We are able to get to transistors once we get through the previous bit of research. There's only a couple of items left. That's the plastics and the resin one to get us to transistors. So yeah, I'll just queue that up after this one. That research is now done, so I should be able to select silicon in here. Silicon. Yep. And off it goes. So that should then be able to put onto this belt, and it should bring it back out, and I can rearrange it later. For now, it will do fine, and we can all swap these two around, and that'll let me put this one over here, etc., and we'll get a nicer belt. But for now, that actually is available, and hopefully I haven't connected the output to that anywhere. I have connected the output of that somewhere. Oh, it's going to go back out of here, and it's going to go into this box right now. Fine. I'll pick you up, and we'll process the silicon this way. And both of those belts outdoor come all the way across here, and then can be combined together essentially with tin copper wire. Now I have tin and copper here, I just haven't got it processed into tin copper wire anywhere on a belt or anything, but you see that's fairly elementary at this point. It just means we need to wait for research, and at that point it's a good point to end the episode because we're ready to get into transistors, and that basically is going to need some more bits and pieces for research, but not much else. So there's nothing really on here that you haven't seen already, so I quite like that so far. Plastics and silicon in one episode, and next episode maybe into transistors. It really depends on what else we actually need for advanced electronics first, but yeah. So hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, give it a thumbs up down below, it does help. What helps even more is if you are subscribed, click on the bell for notifications and watch the episodes fairly quickly after they come out. YouTube seems to like that sort of thing, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed. We'll see you next time for some more Seablock, and as always guys, thanks for watching.